Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to my channel. The title of this message may sound or appear contradicting to everything I've been saying on this channel for the past 5 years since this channel has been into existence. I entitled this message Looking for the Bad. Now, don't judge the message by its title. Listen to this message very carefully. I've said it before that you shouldn't expect everything in your life to start off good. And I also made a long message yesterday in which I've told you that not every good beginning has a happy ending. Now I'm building further onto that. If you haven't listened to that long message, not every good beginning has a happy ending, please listen to it first. It's a half hour, but it's worth it. Then continue listening to this message. Thank you very much. Okay. Looking for the bad. That's not what people do. And I don't blame people for doing it. Unless you're very pessimistic and mentally ill and depressed, you're not looking for the bad. And again, I don't blame people. We want to look for the good. We want to look for quality. We want to look for comfort. And that is in itself not a wrong attitude. But in daily life, in this world, you cannot just look at the good side of stuff. Okay, let me give an illustration. You got a new job. Okay, the job interview went well. So that started off good. That was a good beginning. The first week at the job, man, your colleagues are smiling to you and all of that. Great. But here's the thing. You need to look beyond. People go to the jobs every day. Well, 5 days a week. If you work full-time, some people even more. So the job takes a large sum of their time. And for many people, that job is the only thing they have as an income, so they need that job. So, of course, at the job, they'll do their best to be comfortable and they comply to maintain their job. So that means that how people behave towards you at the job may not be how they really are. You need to consider that. And for some people, they have that job, but they don't really want to be there, but they have to be there. You have all those things that play a role. Now, and remember, all those people at the job, they have a background. They have parents, grandparents, they come from a household. So they all have their issues that they grew up with, that they were conditioned into. And at the workforce, all these issues come together. Now you have the supervisor or the boss that regulates people's behavior. That is his job. So that things, well, go fluently at work. Even if everyone has a similar background, that does not prevent that issues are there at the workforce. There are issues. The issues are just not visible all the time because people are busy working. But issues are still there. And the potential conflicts there also. So you look beyond. You look for the bad. That means you evaluate the people you work with. I'm not telling you to go on Facebook and stalk them. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just telling you look beyond. What type of people are they? And here's the best part. You need to walk by faith. That is what you're called for as a believer. So supernaturally, you speak peace and abundance on the work floor every day you arrive there. And if you notice one of your colleagues has some burden, if the Holy Spirit permits, you pray on his or her behalf. You don't have to tell him or her, just do it. Why? You're looking for the bad. Not because you're interested in the bad. Not because you're longing for the bad. You are looking for the bad, so-called, because you realize that you need to look beyond. You cannot only focus on the comfortable side of stuff and ignore the uncomfortable parts. You can repress uncomfortable parts, but that will not remove the uncomfortable parts. And sometimes those uncomfortable parts are just a side effect of the comfort you have. You get what I'm saying here? So that's why you look beyond. That's why you look for the bad. Okay, another parable. Let's say you just arrived somewhere new. Maybe it's at a new college, or maybe you move to another place and you meet some new friends. And things go great. Again, there's a good beginning, and there's nothing wrong with a good beginning. But look beyond. What type of people are they? What are they struggling with? Why is it important to know this? Because then you know what you can expect. Then you know what you're dealing with. For example, if some individual has issues with rejection, due to how he was raised, then understand, as long as that stronghold of rejection is still on him, unclean spirits have access to that individual. So the possibility exists that one day that individual may feel envious of you because the spirit of envy will work through that individual. And once that individual turns on you, the evil spirit will use that individual to draw a lot of people against you. Now, of course, when you meet people new and things are going well, you're not going to expect evil from them. But just understand, if there are open doors to the enemy, there are open doors. So let's say now you meet people, and you notice some of them have how to say, a strong motive of rejection. What are you going to do? You're going to overrule it. That doesn't mean that they will be delivered, because they need to look for deliverance. But you will overrule the issue they have. So you treat them in a kind manner once in a while. In a Christ-centered manner, you support them and you pray. You pray and decree that no weapon formed against you shall prosper. And you also pray and decree on their life, on their part, so that the spirit of envy cannot have access to them. Now, again, that doesn't mean that they are delivered. They need to look for deliverance, but you overrule the issue they have. Because by overruling their issues, you prevent, you anticipate that unclean spirits can use them and cause harm. In this case, you did enjoy the good beginning, and there's nothing wrong with having a good beginning, but you look beyond the good beginning. A lot of people remain stuck at the good beginning. They don't look beyond. They think, okay, I've met these people who have similar interests. These people support me from time to time. They hold me accountable, so these are good people. I'm settled. Please, don't have that attitude. Don't. Because that attitude is a trap in itself. Because what happens now? Now you settle for those people. They become your core group of friends, your comfort zone. You don't look beyond. You become acclimatized to them. And again, when people hang out with each other or they're frequently in contact with one another, they become acclimatized to one another. There's nothing wrong with that in itself. But becoming acclimatized to someone also implies that you become vulnerable to them. And that vulnerability implies that you become insensitive in some area towards them. Why? Because you become alike. And here's the thing, if one of those individuals suddenly turn narcissistic, or if one of those individuals has a demonic spirit that begins to work through him or her, most of the time you will not be aware of it. Why? You have become acclimatized to them. So you're going to be affected by that negativity without you being aware of it. You will not notice it. Some people may notice that your behavior has changed. You don't. And often when you wake up and realize you've been affected, it's either way too late or things have gone very far already. That's how it happens that people end up marrying folks. And there's nothing wrong with marrying someone, especially if this relationship started good, but realize when things turn sour, when things become dangerous, you need to take your distance. I'm not saying to dissolve the marriage. You can work things out, but there must be safety. But a lot of folks, because they have become acclimatized to their partner, they don't notice when things turn sour nor when things become ugly. When things turn ugly. They don't. That's why it's important to have at least a few people around you that are willing to look after you and they're willing to inform you when things go wrong. I'm not talking about people who just bluntly say things as they are and don't care about how you feel. Such people can be dangerous also, especially when you're vulnerable. Look, I'm not saying not look, but at least pray that you have some people around you. They don't have to be closely involved, but you would at least have some people around you that watch over you, that look after you. Because such people, you may not appreciate them always, but they will inform you. Or if they can't inform you because you're not ready to receive the news, they will take action on your behalf to bring you towards safety. Now, I'm not telling you now to accept anyone to just interfere with your affairs. Because some people just want to interfere to have something to talk about. I'm not talking about that. Neither am I talking about nosy parents that don't want to grow themselves. Because if you have nosy parents that don't want to grow, the enemy can use them to cause stress onto you. Because they keep interfering with stuff, giving you advice that don't add up. only to make themselves feel good. They are treating you well. So it's all about them feeling good. They don't consider you. I'm not talking about that. Pray that you have some people that look after you. And there are times the Holy Spirit will use you to look after certain people. It can be that there was this individual you spoke once to. You had him on Facebook. He suddenly blocked you on Facebook, and you think, what? You moved on with your life, as you should. You didn't bother with it, but after a while the Holy Spirit puts on your heart to look for this individual. And you think, Holy Spirit, F off, I'm not going to do that. Seriously. But then the Holy Spirit tells you, do it. So you obey the Holy Spirit, you do it. You find the individual on Instagram, you leave some comments, he likes the comments. Then suddenly you begin to ask the Holy Spirit, what's this about? Please, this individual did me dirty, and now you want me to contact the individual again? What's going on? This doesn't add up. But because you know you shouldn't rely upon your own understanding, you follow the Holy Spirit. Then one day you meet an individual, you talk well with the individual, nothing, no danger, no anger, there's nothing going on, there was totally at peace. And afterwards you ask the Holy Spirit what's going on. And then the Holy Spirit reveals unto you that this individual is the target of murderous envy. And this murderous envy was lingering around for a while. And the Holy Spirit freed you from becoming a substitute target by eliminating the contact between you and that other individual. It was the Holy Spirit that did that. But you thought, what did I do wrong? That the individual blocked me like that and broke contact with me. It was the Holy Spirit doing it. Because when you were hanging with that individual, when you had contact, your blessing became apparent to others. And some people couldn't stand the fact that that individual was affected by your blessing. So there were people coming after you, but the Holy Spirit blocked it. But now, the individual itself is a target. And he does not have the Holy Spirit. He does not have any real protection. So the Holy Spirit used you to look after him. This is just an example, okay? When people do you dirty, just cut you off, just move on with your life. Okay? That's just the common thing you do. Unless the Holy Spirit directs you differently. But you must be very sensitive to the Holy Spirit and what to do. Again, you look for the bad. Not because you long for the bad, but because it's practical, it's realistic. That parable of that guy and being blocked on Facebook and reconciliation happened very peacefully, it's a similar thing I've experienced. I'm not going to tell you exactly how things were, I'm not going to mention names, all of that, but a similar thing I experienced. And I was the one the Holy Spirit spoke to. Now, why did I give this parable? Because I want to teach you to look beyond. That includes looking for the bad. Too often, when new things begin in our lives, we embrace new things unconditionally. And I don't blame you, but understand, you are not living on the second heaven and second earth. Christ has not returned back yet. That means the enemy is still raging around. The majority of the world's population is still in the negative. So everyone that walks this earth is faced with negativity. And when good things happen in your life, other people are always involved. And not everyone is in agreement with Christ. Not everyone has faith. So when new things begin, whether it's a relationship, whether it's new friends, whether it's a new business, whether it's you move somewhere, you have a new house, whatever it is, look for the bad. Because then you look at the bigger picture. Then you see things in their entirety. And then when you notice the bad, you can anticipate the bad. Too often we don't notice the bad, or we repress knowledge of the bad because we're so into the good emotions of things starting off good, that later the bad grows and begins to haunt us. But that didn't have to happen. If you looked at the bigger picture and supernaturally anticipate stuff. Now, let me give another example now. Let's say now you have a witch, okay? She is 20 years old and she started her own photography company. She's a photographer. She does some ceremonies at home in a wardrobe. She has her candles and her statues. She does her thing. So one day she met this guy from Australia, and the contact was good. She liked the guy. Not liking in a romantic manner, but she was fond of the guy. The guy was kind towards her and all of that. She talked about him to her friends, but then she suddenly kept the guy at a distance. She didn't block him on social media or anything like that, but she lowered her contact with the guy. Then one of her friends began to ask her, Anne, let's say her name's Anne. Anne, you talk so good about this guy from Australia. Okay, you don't have to be romantically involved with the guy, but why are you so distant towards him? What did he do? Anne didn't want to talk about it, but after a while she confessed. Well, not confessed, but she explained. Susie. Okay, I'm using the name Susie again, I often do that. Anne said, Susie, there's nothing wrong with the guy. The guy didn't do anything wrong. I'm still fond of the guy. But remember, I'm a witch. I do paranormal stuff, and that's why I'm safe. I have a lot of people that can't stand me. I have a lot of people that want me to fail in this business. Some of them are even relatives of mine. You know that very well. The only reason why nobody dared to come and vandalize my shop, and the only reason why none of that misfortune happened to me was because of the witchcraft I'm practicing. I'm not very proud of being a witch, absolutely not. It's a bad thing, but it's the only thing I have. I did not have parents nor people that supported me. You know that. So then Susie asked, but now you have someone that supports you. That guy from Australia, he doesn't even ask anything in return. It's a blessing. But then Anne said, Susie, remember that I'm in the paranormal. So that means that everything I achieve, there's some plague coming with it. And look at this. That guy, it may be a blessing to me, right? So look, if I hang out with the guy and I'm affected by his blessing, that blessing is going to intensify the work I'm doing. So I may get more customers, all of that, that's true. But I must be able to handle it also. And right now, at this moment, I can't handle an increase in abundance. I really can't. So that's why I keep me at a distance. It has to do with me. Okay, that was the parable. In this case, the young woman openly admitted it was her. She didn't blame the other guy nor circumstances, just explained, I can't handle being blessed right now. Especially because she was operating in the negative and she knew it very well. She wasn't in denial. In this case, this Anne looked at the bed. She looked for the bed. She was happy that things started off good. That she suddenly met this individual that had a genuine interest in her, not exploit her. But she also looked at the effect it would have on her and what would come along with it. So, from a practical point of view, she kept the guy at a distance. She had nothing against the guy, but she realized this may end up dirty. Because she realized if she increased in abundance, she would have had to face more resistance. And because she is in the paranormal, and she doesn't know anything about the supernatural, so according to her, the paranormal is all there is. And because she realized that if she wants more paranormal protection, she would have to go to the devil directly. She doesn't want that, so that's why she kept the guy at a distance, okay? The guy, at the other hand, didn't even bother with it. He just moved on. But I gave this parable to you to show you that looking beyond is important. There are some people in the world that do this. Most people don't. Most people are just into their own expectations, into their own likes and dislikes. Their likes and dislikes are their own private interests. And the only thing they care about are their private interests. If something doesn't match up their private interests, well, they turn on it. That's how a lot of people are. I'm not saying all people, but a lot of people. And that attitude is very dumb. Yes, I said it's very dumb. Because when you look beyond, you can grow. When you look beyond, you can see more opportunities. You can even create opportunities. And when you look beyond, it includes looking for the bad, you can prevent stuff or circumvent danger. Yes, you can circumvent and anticipate danger. But therefore you need to look beyond. That's what I'm teaching you here. I'm telling you, since I began to walk by faith, actively walk by faith, I mean supernaturally walking by faith since I was, well, 16, 17. I was born again since 13, 14, but 16 and 17 years old, on one of those ages, I actively began to walk supernaturally. Let me tell you, I've learned to look beyond. I've learned to look at the bigger picture. I was always, since a kid, I was someone that was curious in finding out stuff. So I always had this attitude of looking further. But it is when I began to walk by faith, supernaturally and actively, that I really learned the value of looking beyond. And here's the thing, there are many believers that don't look beyond. That's why they end up going to church every Sunday, they never learn, they never grow, and they keep having the same demons harassing them. And they always need a prayer of the pastor or some deacon to give them ease. Well, they should have been overruling decades ago. They should now be pillars of power in the community. But instead, they are on life support at the local church. Why? They don't look beyond. That's why they don't grow. I'm telling you, from my experience, and you don't have to take my word for it if you want, but I'm just sharing my experience here. From my experience, when you look beyond, 80% of all potential harm is already prevented. The rest of the 20% are things you endure and overcome by faith. So really, when you look beyond in a Christ-centered manner, there are no real problems, nor real obstacles. There aren't. Is that not what people want? A life without obstacles? A life without problems? Well, let me tell you, it exists. Not because there are no difficulties. Difficulties will be there, but you can overrule and circumvent and even bypass difficulties. And the difficulties will have no power over you. In order to have this victorious walk every day, as you should as a believer, your thinking needs to change. You ought to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Your mind must be renewed. Too many believers relate to the environment, including the difficulties, in a non-Christ-like manner. They relate to stuff in a relief-centered manner, just like all people in the world do. I'm talking about those who are unsaved, which I refer to as the world. As a believer, for faith, relief-seeking, by agreeing with Christ. Well, that's it for now. I made recordings about relief-seeking, so look them up on this YouTube channel. Well, that's it for now. Agree with Christ and be at peace.